Alright, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. We are going to start up right where we had left off. But, right where we left off happened to be a database entry on the blunderbuss. So we'll start right there. The blunderbuss. A blunderbuss is a short firearm with a large caliber barrel. It is flared at the muzzle and is only effective at short range. The word blunderbuss comes from the Dutch word dunderbuss, translating to thunder pipe. As it served a similar role, some consider this weapon to be an early form of what we now know as the shotgun. Looks like we missed a character. Augustin Dufort, born 1701, unknown death date. Augustine Dufort was born into slavery in 1701, sold away from his mother, and passed from plantation to plantation as owners leapt at the chance to buy him cheaply, only to find him too thin and frail to be of much use. Changing hands so often gave Dufort an advantage. He learned the layouts and routines and habits of plantations and their overseers across Saint Domingue. He used his knowledge to plan a careful escape, and thus became one of the few child slaves to survive to adulthood. A deeply faithful man, Dufort was baptized Catholic in accordance with the rules of the Code Noir, but drew his spirituality from voodoo and his strength from his unwavering drive for African independence in Saint Domingue. In 1735, he was introduced to Ottawale following a raid on his headquarters, and the two formed a loose partnership, exchanging strengths and ideas over the years that followed. Alright, and our new objective popped up. We need to go and buy blunderbuss ammo. Looks like Mr. Dufort has that for us. Small lead shot. We can fill her up.
Good day, and fortune favor you.
Thank you. And we can return to Port-au-Prince. Looks like his little camp here is a little emptier than it should be. I don't know if we'll get to fill this up or what. Kind of make it our new base of operations, or we'll, resupply him and then get some people here or something like that. I don't know, but it's pretty bare right now. Alright, let's go and get out of here, leave this cave. Alright, we can read some more about the blunderbuss here. The blunderbuss is a firearm that can deal damage to multiple targets. It's a shorter range, kills instantly, and fires only once between reloading. Then it tells us how to shoot, and then it says there are multiple variations of the blunderbuss, each with its own specifications. It's too bad we couldn't get one of these or have Ottawale have one while we were sailing with Edward. That would have been cool. I suppose we got all three. Look at that. Perfect. And those guys suck with peripheral vision. Since they were warming their hands over dead flame. So, whatever. I guess that's on them. Anyways, we should probably deal with this plantation here. Looks like we need to recruit Maroons as well. So it said that if we do plantation liberation missions, then we can get multiple guys back to the Maroons. So I think that's where we should maybe start. Alright, so there's like 20 overseers, and we've already dealt with a few of them from earlier. We need to keep the slaves alive if they are to join us. So let's see how this plays out. Alright, these take a bit of time, so we are going to speed this whole deal up. They do have alarm bells around. While we're doing this, we can go ahead and cut the alarm bells when we see them. And get any chests that we find. Oh, it turns out that they rang one of them. And our slaves alive number keeps counting down. Can't ring that again. We just need to kill one more. And we can get a good look at the plantation from overhead before jumping out into this hay bale and finishing up with the last guy.
You're not safe out here. Go, find shelter.
And there you have it. We have liberated the plantation. And it shows us a lot of information here. Oh, it gives us rewards if we do specific things. That would be nice to know, I guess. Raid bonus. There's lots and lots of stuff here. Alright, we can quit. Now the plantation is now abandoned. We are going to just collect some things and move on. We still need 10 more Maroon troops before we can get to our next mission. While still on the plantation, collecting chests, we come across the plantation mansions, and we can read about them. Alright, plantation mansions, multi-story buildings with high ceilings, large windows, marble or wood flooring, with a second floor balcony for viewing one's vast property. Plantation mansions were a symbol of the plantation owner's wealth and success. The mansion was generally placed in the most central location of the plantation so that it would be visible and recognizable from a distance. Notes, they were usually a combination of Greek, French, Creole, and Caribbean architecture. That's by DM. And another note, all built with enslaved labor as if to emphasize the inequity. JM. While still searching for chests, although we are now in town, we come across something. A slave auction. We can put an end to this.
I will repay you somehow. You've endured enough.
We can make our way into another plantation and liberate it. We also find, of course, on the top of a windmill, a synchronization point. Syncing with it gives us a good view of the empty plantation now that we've dealt with all the overseers. and freed our slave brethren. And after a long time of collecting treasure chests and liberating as many slaves as we can finally begin our next mission.
Every day, more slaves arrive.
Human cargo makes for lucrative trade. I once hoped men of education could be made to see the cost, but profit makes them ignorant.
With the right vessel, you could intercept the slave ships before they arrive. Or you would be free to leave. You have already paid more than your share to the Maroon Saint-Domingue, and I am no master. I cannot choose for you. This brigantine could meet your needs if you could relieve it of its crew. Bastienne has volunteered her woman to draw the men away. Or you could set this tower light to distract them.
Excellent options, all of them. What's this?
Firecrackers. Some of your recruits salvaged them. It's only right that you should use them.
Excellent.
Once you send me a signal, I will send our men to join you.
It wants us to use our firecrackers right away, but first we can learn a bit about them in the database. Firecrackers are small explosive devices used mainly for the sound they produce. They are generally cylindrical in shape and are filled with an explosive powder. Fuses are usually added, allowing the firecracker to be lit and thrown away from the user before it explodes. Well, that's interesting. I guess it would be distraction. Anything loud. Our distraction seems like we might need to blow something up. And there's a keg of powder there. Unfortunately, it's in the rain, and I guess we'll see if those powder kegs are sealed up good enough to blow up that tower. And as you can see on the mini-map, we are in a restricted area, and there are plenty of guards around. You'd think during this storm it would be harder to see anybody, but they seem to be on to us. And we're caught, but not for long. It seems like we've evaded the gentleman that noticed us. Don't necessarily want to distract anyone yet. And that's why. But it is what it is. We need to get these kegs over to our target. I mean, they know we're here now, so I don't know. You're gonna shoot that keg in my hand soon. Alright, we have to deal with these guys. After a long while of fighting and hiding, we can finally get close enough to put our barrel down under this tower. Of course, we're caught pretty quickly and need to fight our way out again. This seems to happen a lot. All we need to do now, besides fight these guys off, is ignite the barrel, which has rolled away. Alright, so let's put this barrel back. These guys would stop shooting me. I don't think we ignited it. Alright, so we didn't do anything. I'm waiting for that guy to not notice us anymore, but he keeps on doing it. Alright, hold on. After a while, we coax him down to the hay bale and kill him. Now we can ignite the powder keg and run. Well, that didn't do as much as I thought it was gonna. But it did enough. Let's get to our ship that we intend to steal. But first, we need to reach the top of the mast to light the signal. I guess we're not taking the dock. This way we can avoid detection, even though we clearly did not. Swimming underwater, we can kind of avoid it, and hopefully these guys... There they go. Okay, you know, do that. Also, the water jumping in, that was loud. These guys are dumb. I don't want to have to crawl down to kill that guy. Dude, just back off. Hiding. That works for me. That's much better than the alternative. I feel like it's going to damage the ship. And with that, we complete the mission, and we can go on to our next.
Augustin, I am surprised to see you here. Are you not needed in the headquarters?
I can train in order to take my place there.
The Experto Creed, the double-mast agile ship, the Experto Creed, was originally owned by French merchants. It was stolen by Arwale in Saint-Domingue during the early 18th century and used to aid the Maroon warriors. Cool, cool.
When you are gone, who will captain this ship? You must teach me.
Aye, I will. But you must not call me captain. You are the leader of these men.
But you have earned the right. At sea, you will be my captain. How did you come by your knowledge of the sea, Ade?
It was my first true home. Buccaneers offered me my first glimpse of freedom, and I took it. I learned by observation.
They will not teach you.
Nor accepted me as their captain once I had proven myself. Only the assassins offered me real authority.
You were born in Trinidad.
Aye, on a plantation.
Are there not Maroon there who could use your help? I know we are not alone in Saint-Domingue to fight for independence.
There could well be. I have not returned to find out.
After a little bit of sailing, we find none other than a slave ship. Not just a slave ship, it's guarded. And of course, it carries a decent sum of reals for us to plunder. Let's see what we can do here. I doubt that we want to actually attack the ship itself. Perhaps this will be different than the normal way of doing things.
Douse the gallants and royals! Men's out! Let's go! The yards off the wind!
You believe it is here?
More likely I succumb to nostalgia in my age. Proud Fire! Ready to fire as much sail as you can! Fire! Fire! On your mark, Captain! Caution! Fire! Fire! Fire!
There's some pretty cool music playing. Alright, we took them down. Now one more.
Loose mainsails!
Ooh, most of them went into the water. I don't think they hit anything. Come on. Oh, one more hit. The slave ship has put up its sails. We now need to board it. Yeah, and it does seem that we can just do so. We don't need to damage that ship at all.
That's a pirate hunter.
Let's not worry about him just yet.
Catch some wind!
Let's kill these slavers. And get their cargo to freedom and safety. Oh, and we get a database entry. Slave ships. Slave ships, built for the Middle Passage, were vessels designed to transport slaves from Africa to the New World. It is estimated that around 15 million Africans were transported to the Americas between 1540 and 1850, each voyage taking 2 to 6 months to complete. That's a lot of people. That's like a full country. Alright, slaves were considered to be cargo by their captors and kept in horrifying conditions aboard, threatening even the lives of the vessel's crew. Captains of these slave ships preferred to carry as much cargo as possible. A vessel of 100 tons carrying between 220 to 250 slaves per voyage. The death rate on these ships was extremely high due to dysentery, fevers, filthy conditions, and other unpredictable diseases brought on board. There were usually 3 lodging rooms below deck, some barely 5 feet high, leaving only about 7 square feet of room per slave. Slaves were made to lie down in 2 rows, one on top of the other, like books on a shelf, usually without room to cram one more in. Slaves could suffocate and trample each other to death as they tried to claw their way to the surface of the ship. Known rebellions were recorded on more than 300 voyages, leaving Africa, but measures were taken to scare the slaves into submission. Some commanders threatened the slaves by severing the limbs of rebels to serve as an example of their power. When slavery was eventually outlawed, slave ships attempted quicker forms of transport to avoid capture and continue their illegal activities. Wow, that's like some cartel stuff right there. And yeah, I guess, you know, if it's making money or whatever, they're gonna try to keep doing it. It's just like alcohol or whatever else. You know, it's outlawed, it's probably big money. Okay, so triangle trade. The transatlantic slave trade, the most notorious example of the triangle trade model, operated between the 16th and 19th century. It was named the triangle trade for its 3 main entities, Europe, Africa, and the Caribbean, each with an agenda of needs and offers that catered well to one another. Europe desired goods from its own colonies in the Caribbean, driving a demand for slave labor to produce goods. Slave traders in Africa provided the slaves in return for the European goods. So really it was Europe driving all of this, as they did. I mean, they're sending people over to the U.S. Well, not the U.S. at the time, but you know what I mean. And, yeah, I don't know who the slave traders were over in Africa. Let me look that up real quick. Alright, so according to the Google, slave trade was big for, obviously, the British, the French, and another one was the Portuguese. They were big into the slave trade thing. But the originating people that were like the beginning point of slavery, like where they came from, how they were sold and whatnot, that was the African government themselves at the time. Ships would first sail from Europe to Africa, carrying copper, cloth, guns, and ammunition to be sold or bartered for slaves. Ships would then be loaded with purchased slaves and sail the Middle Passage to the Caribbean. Once in the West Indies, the slaves would be unloaded and sold, and the cargo vessel would be cleaned and prepared to carry new goods such as coffee, sugar, rum, and molasses back to Europe, completing the oppressive triangle. Yeah, I guess it only makes sense that the leaders in those areas that were there, I mean, they're getting goods, and somebody needed free labor, so I guess you get what you get. But why? I mean, I don't ever understand that. Why not, you know, better your nation? It did say it was like pre-colonial leaders and stuff, so maybe they just didn't care, and then it was just for money. But you'd think that, like, you know, you like, our people will go and work for you, but we're not doing this slave thing. I mean, come on, they gotta think that that's wrong, right? A little bit. I mean, you're selling off your own people? Not cool. Not cool. But, I can't emphasize enough. It is what it is. It happened. We need to move on with it. And it's very unfortunate that, people would just sell off their own people like that.
You're free now.
Alright. So that is it. We have liberated the slave ship. And in doing so, besides freeing the slaves, we get a bunch of stuff, including 5,000 real. It doesn't say reals. Alright, let's move on. We finally reach our destination, Port au Prince, and we can enter the docks, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure why they had us leave if we're just going to come back to the same place essentially, but it is what it is. We're going to visit Bastienne? No, that's not her name. This we're going to visit the brothel. Why don't I remember her name?
Monsieur Adwele, the Mayon cause has made an ally of you. Augustin speaks highly of your help.
I do not know how much longer I'll be able to continue, but the Maroons are outstanding warriors. Augustin has provided me with everything I might need to get by until I return to my brothers.
I believe you owe me a parcel then.
Let me hold it a while longer, for safekeeping.
You are not a man of your word.
My word was perhaps. It stands.
How little you must think of me.
On the contrary, you have maintained your freedom among the French by the deft handling of your indispensable business. I respect you highly, but would be a fool to trust anyone so clever so soon.
What a keen eye and sweet tongue you have. Since you cannot provide me with the one thing I truly desire, I hope to compel you to demonstrate some respect by some other means.
I would consider it.
I need a careful and observant man to investigate the gouverneur. I must know what distracts him, and why he enforces the Code Noir ever more strictly. The lives of the slaves depend on it.
I share your curiosity. I'll pay you this favor for the slaves.
Perhaps there is some honor in you yet. You will need a disguise. Please, change into these.
A slave's rags. What do you mean by this indignity? Do you mean to see me recaptured?
Indignity? Do you hold your enslaved brothers in such low esteem?
Do you hold any man in high esteem? Or are we all pawns to you?
Ha! You should be so lucky. There is no trick. It is only that, well, the Gouverneur de Fayette will host a soirée soon. And imagine, I am not invited. The excess of the occasion calls for an abundance of supplies to be delivered to his mansion. That's where you come in. With your crate, you will blend in with the men delivering the goods. Once on the grounds, you can spy on the good gouverneur.
Will the overseers not notice one man extra? Or are you simply unconcerned for my well-being?
I've never met an overseer who could tell two slaves apart. Nevertheless, be careful. I sense you are as bright as you are strong. You will figure it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Here they come. Join the line. Be careful.
What's going on back there? Fall in line!
Who are you? A friend.
This is a joke to you.
No. You will get us all killed. Shh.
Another fit for the pig? You are too complacent.
Excellent. Put the crates down there, chers messieurs. All right, enough socializing. Back to work. Grounds must be fit for a king when my guests arrive. Lazy bastards. Both of them should be whipped. I'm a prince, you realize? I'm a prince for putting up with me.
Ah, my feet hurt.
What good is complaining?
I will remember you said that.
Quiet now.
Friend, does the guard change often?
As often as night moves today.
Thank you.
If you are a friend, keep it blunt.
Alright, there seems to be alarm bells around. Hopefully we don't desync. And our main goal here is to locate the gouverneur in the mansion. Alright, let's get started. We got desynced. But this time we did much better. And we can reach the hiding spot. That guy's dumb if he didn't hear anything. Now he's nothing. Alright, we need to eavesdrop on the conversation happening inside the plantation mansion.
A Spanish vessel is available. Could we not use a French ship?
Are you trying to start a war?
treaty between our nations is fragile. We cannot afford any suspicion of smuggling.
Your name will go down in history with mine if you supply the funds and the ship.
Thank you for the offer, but I have an expensive colony to govern.
With the volume of slaves you import, I'd have thought you'd have gold to spare.
Even free labor is not free, my friend. Slaves are expensive to replace. The poor beasts expire before they can reproduce.
Even your slave ships will benefit from improved navigation. Fewer accidents.
Now that is interesting.
Bastienne. That's her name. Alright, we gotta get out of here and return to her, see what she has to say. After sneaking out and sneaking our way back, we can head into the brothel, hopefully get our clothing back.
Alors, what have you learned?
The governor is overconfident. Despite his guard, I could have ended him with my bare hands. He would have deserved it. What makes you believe you need him?
I keep my friends close, and my enemies closer. Which camp are you in? Will you tell me what you have learned? Who distracts him?
A bold-faced scientist, Godin, hounds the governor for funds. Something about an expedition, navigational secrets.
Why is this the first time I hear of him? Is my whole network turned against me? Does the harbor master think I give him my best girls out of kindness?
Do you wish me to investigate further? I admit, as a man of the sea, the science of navigation intrigues me.
No. Yes. I don't know. As you wish, but leave me, I must think.
Perhaps we should do her a favor and investigate further. I guess we'll see what happens next. I think we'll head right back in. We've gotten the chests and viewpoints here. So the only thing to do... Oh, I missed him. Would be to save that slave, but we're just going to head back in.
Bastienne, I feared we lost you to the bitterness of depression.
Never. Those arrogant men cannot cut me out of my own network. The cost is too great for the slaves.
And for your pride.
What does it matter? So long as I work for their freedom.
Whatever has inspired it, I'm glad to hear the fight back in your voice. How can I help?
The scientist, Godin. What is his full purpose here? Can you find that out?
Whatever secrets he carries, I will uncover.
Start with the harbor master. He sees everyone who comes and goes. He should have kept me informed.
Alright, let's eavesdrop on the harbor master. Could use violence to intimidate. That was Altair's way. But times change. We pet the dog? Yeah, we can pet the dog. So I guess we don't do that violence to intimidate thing anymore. Yeah, but I guess before we hit up our next objective, we can save this gentleman from his pursuer. Oh, dude, don't kick me. You're dead now. Got him through the wall. And the auction, we might as well deal with that. You're done. Come and get me, dude. I got these darts now. And we all know how I love the darts. Ow! Fight each other! Run! Run, guys!
You will be thanked greatly in time. We can only put a stop to this by helping each other.
Kind of talked to him through the wood there, but alright. Let's get to our objective. Alright, we finally made it. Let's eavesdrop on these fools.
The Gouverneur de Fayette requests that Monsieur Gaudin's geodesic expedition equipped with every resource it demands. The first need is rather unusual. Monsieur Gaudin requires, for reasons of scientific record keeping, 3 literate slaves.
Who would have taught them? The Code Noir prohibits.
Perhaps among your house slaves, such a worker exists? You may communicate it privately. There is a reward.
But what will they do?
Take notes, I suppose?
Mieux vaut l'écouter, mon gars. On a perdu ce vautour.
Take notes, I suppose?
Can none of the French scientists take notes?
Not if they are to carry equipment at the same time.
I kind of wanted to see who they were dealing with. Alright, now we need to complete some investigations into Godin. And little hourglasses are on our mini-map. Let's head to them one at a time. At the first sight, we find a man, our target, playing some game. We need to steal a letter from him. We got it, and people just decide
Once
to
the
ignore
circumference of the earth is known, we may navigate more precisely and better anticipate the position of the enemy. We will require fewer ships because we will lose fewer ships. Our cannons will aim true, and commercially, well, you know how it is with pirates and slave ships. We can put an end to nonsense by supporting this expedition. Signed, Gouverneur de Fayette. There is much at stake here.
Okay, so they want to know the circumference of the Earth. We read about that before. The expedition and all that stuff. Next, I think we'll head over to this boat. Ship. It's a ship. And, let's see what we have to do here.
That pouch must be important.
Well, he's not as good as me. Oh, they caught me. Oh, he caught me. It's fine. He's just gonna die out in the water. I hope that we can get that from him. Oh no, I hope that he, Are you gonna live, dude? I kinda need you to live to get to the shore.
We insist the expedition wait for a Spanish ship. But we are allies now. Can they not be persuaded to allow a single French vessel passage in the name of science? We are, after all, allowing Spanish chaperones on board. Signed, Louis Godet. He does not realize the risks of this voyage.
Out of the paper, you got a paper cut, I think. Pretty severe one, too. We find our third investigation here, talking to this guy.
I know you. You're the one with the ghost ship? I have a job for you. I sense you're looking for information. Meanwhile, I have information.
And I'm sure you have some condition for giving it.
Yeah. My rival uses slaves to fish 3 times my haul. If they were freed, the slave that is, I would be so relieved. For their health, of course.
Of course. Consider it done.
Well, I guess that helps us both. You're done. You don't even try it. Alright. Suppose we should maybe get this one. I'll probably just get all 5, but I want to... What just happened? Do that fisherman one too. Come back here, you. Still got the paper in his hand.
What do you want?
Strange time to be delivering a message. Does it by any chance concern the expedition that's leaving shortly?
Who are you to care?
Tell me what you know, or I will wring it out of you.
No! Very well. The governor wanted me to tell the harbor master to allow a French ship to be sent, rather than a Spanish one, on the condition that certain goods be transported as a special favor.
The expedition will also be used for smuggling.
Well, I wouldn't say it so plainly, but...
Thank you. Good night.
He said goodnight, but it's the middle of the day, so I assumed that he was going to put him to sleep. Alright, here's another part of the investigation right here. Might as well get it.
In the territory of Quito, the mountains and plains will favorize our triangulations. Our measurements will allow us to know the exact shape of the Earth.
Egg, oval, or globe?
That is the question. With this knowledge, France and Spain will have the privilege of navigational precision.
Won't the Spanish then have too great an advantage at war?
It was the only way to gain access to Quito.
They're always one step ahead.
Now that we are allies, perhaps we will walk together.
Perhaps. Still, I'm surprised they are allowing your expedition through. Are they not worried about smuggling?
Oh, probably, but for all their military might, they're not as strong as we are in the sciences.
They need you then.
And they are sending us a couple of chaperones. I hear he's quite the prodigy.
Not yet. I'm sure it will be a great pleasure.
Alright, now that we're done eavesdropping, let's get these gentlemen free. We need to get a key and go to their cell and open it for them. Okay, 33 real and a key has been gifted to us. Guess there's a couple of ways to do this, but I'm gonna try the straightforward approach, looking right at this guy. I'm telling you, their peripherals are the worst. You're free, go! Alright, now we gotta deal with the lackeys. Gotcha. We're still carrying that paper. You want a paper cut? Human shield, please. Alright, anyways, we gotta deal with these guys quick. Or we can just run away. Yeah, take that, dude. Just did the old blow and go. Because I blew a dart and I got him and then I left. Alright, cool. We gotta return to the fishermen, so let's do that once we're all safe and sound. Excuse me, I need fish.
Thank you kindly.
I did not do it for kindness. The information now, out with it.
Ah, yes. The harbor master is stockpiling too much cargo for a simple expedition. Too much cargo, not enough cannons to protect it. Can only mean one thing. Smuggling.
Thank you.
Didn't we figure that out before? I mean, they gotta have more. I don't know. That was a lot of trouble just for him to tell us something we already kind of knew. But, I guess, you know, we did all 5. That's what our objective was. Let's go and talk to Bastienne.
Alors, what did you find?
An opportunity beyond imagination. These scientists aim to record navigational secrets for our beloved kings to use at war. But we can seize them to extraordinary advantage for my brotherhood and the Maroon. We need only supply literate recruits, and the rest will take care of itself.
That is all. Nothing more on the governor.
That is all? That is everything! How many more could be freed with this knowledge in our hands?
All things require balance, Adewale. To achieve independence, the Mayon require stability, anonymity, and information. That has always been my role. What now? That is what I thought. The storm brought you in, and you will leave on the tempest of opportunity and imagination. And I will be left here to do what I can. Powerless.
No, any day now the Maroons will rise up. Then I will leave, not before. I've decided.
You are as arrogant as the French. Blanc. All of you. That is all you are.
Bastienne?
No. Go now.
Kept the paper through the cutscene. Oh, man. Alright. Yeah, I guess Adewale is a little short-sighted in that way. But I get his... what he, you know, is about. Anyways, we're going to end the episode here. And we'll start up on our next mission. Since we've got some stuff to do. But, yeah, anyways, we're going to start up again on our next mission, which would be there on the map, but we have to go and liberate Wellington Plantation in the Caribbean Sea first, before that happens. So, I would like to thank everyone or anyone for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and dislike if you did dislike. And if you did dislike, please go ahead and comment why you disliked. I would like to see some comments so that I can respond to them. So, again, have a good day, night, whatever that might be for you. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.